And welcome back. Ready for a deep dive. And I mean, really different this time.
Oh, I'm ready. What are we looking at?
Well, today we're ditching the fancy restaurants and celebrity chefs.
Okay.
We're going totally personal.
Right.
We're diving into a family cookbook.
Ooh, I love those.
Yeah, the Dominguez Family Cookbook, to be exact.
Interesting.
And let me tell you, this isn't your typical pristine, perfectly photographed cookbook. This is the real deal.
I see. So we're talking handwritten recipes, those little notes scribbled in the margins.
Exactly. It's like opening a treasure chest of memories, spills, and probably a few kitchen disasters.
You know what I love about family cookbooks? They're more than just recipes. They're a time capsule. You can trace a family's journey through their food.
So true. And you can really feel that in this one. You can practically hear the laughter, the arguments over who gets the last cookie.
Oh, absolutely.
And speaking of cookies, we have to talk about the dedication page. It's hilarious.
Oh, the dedication page. Always a gem, what'd they say?
They dedicate the whole thing to mom and dad, but in the most wonderfully sarcastic way. Like, they praise mom's ability to salvage any culinary mishap with a take two, they're small.
Classic. I love it.
And then there's dad. Apparently, his solution to most cooking problems involves power tools.
No way, really?
Yeah, they quote him saying, if it's too big, use a hammer. If it won't fit, use a chainsaw.
That's incredible. You know, it's refreshing to see that approach to cooking.
Yeah.
A little humor, a little ingenuity. It sets the tone for the entire book.
Totally. And speaking of the recipes, there's one that really caught my eye, Grammy's garlic bread.
Garlic bread, always a crowd pleaser. What's so special about this one?
It's fascinating, actually. There are two versions of the recipe, one from 1998 and one from 2012. And let me tell you, the difference is pretty telling.
Oh, how so?
Well, the 98 version is charmingly simple. Grammy just writes, originally, I didn't know how to make this, cut to 2012, and it's all about Costco. We're talking bulk margarine, pre-crushed garlic, the works.
That's amazing. It's like a microcosm of how our relationship with food has evolved.
Right. And you know what's funny? Grammy's instructions just say, mix it with my burr, which we later find out is a hand mixer her grandson Nick gave her.
Oh, that's sweet. It's amazing how those little details add so much personality to a recipe.
Right. It makes you wonder, did Grammy resist using pre-made ingredients at first, or was she all about that convenience life? It's a little peek into how different generations approach cooking.
Definitely. And, speaking of generational differences and, family dynamics in the kitchen, we had to talk about what I'm calling the mac and cheese incident.
Oh, this story's legendary. So it starts with mom's classic mac and cheese.
Right.
Regular macaroni, the usual, until Frankie, the youngest, discovers that he can launch molten cheese across the table by blowing into the tube.
Oh, no, I can only imagine the chaos.
Right. His target. Poor Laura, of course.
Oh, no, not Laura.
From that day forward, it was rotini all the way.
A wise choice.
But the legend of Frankie's cheese projectiles lived on.
As it should. Every family has its kitchen mishaps, but weaponized rotini, that's next level.
Absolutely. And speaking of next level, the sheer volume of food in some of these recipes is mind-boggling. Like Grammy's real stuffing recipe calls for 5 pounds of potatoes.
5 pounds, wow. That sounds less like stuffing and more like a potato-based ecosystem.
Right. It makes you wonder what those family gatherings were like. We're talking massive tables, tons of people, probably an entire extended family crammed in.
Sounds wonderful.
It does, doesn't it? And speaking of tradition, there's a very specific instruction in Grammy's real stuffing recipe. Do not add milk.
Ooh, interesting. She sounds very firm about that.
She does, in all caps even. So naturally, it got me thinking, why is Grammy so anti-milk in her stuffing?
Well, there's actually a lot of debate about milk and stuffing. It's a point of contention in many kitchens.
Really? I had no idea. So what's the verdict? To milk or not to milk?
Well, it comes down to moisture. Potatoes have a lot of natural water content. Adding milk can make the stuffing too wet, resulting in a dense, almost soggy texture.
Ah, I see. So Grammy's emphatic instruction, while maybe a little intimidating, is actually rooted in solid culinary principles.
Exactly. She knows her stuff. Or should I say her stuffing.
Exactly. And speaking of knowing their stuff, the arrival of a new family member, Ben, really shakes things up in the pepper steak recipe.
Ooh, I love how the arrival of the new person can change a recipe,
Yeah.
Like new tastes, dietary needs, it all gets woven in.
Absolutely. And in Ben's case, it's the addition of ham to the pepper steak. It's a small change, but speaks volumes about the family's willingness to adapt and incorporate everyone's preferences.
Right, it's like a culinary symbol of welcoming someone new into the fold.
And it's not just the recipes themselves. There are these little side notes like, make sure to make Laura's plate. It might seem like a throwaway comment, but it speaks to that unspoken language of caretaking that exists in families, especially around food.
Oh, absolutely. Those little gestures that mean the most, you know. It's the difference between just cooking a meal and nurturing a family.
Exactly. We've been talking a lot about the savory side of things.
Right. The main courses, the side dishes.
But the Dominguez family cookbook doesn't stop there. The range of dishes is incredible. They have everything from Grammy's labor-intensive pierogies, which she learned from her grandmother in Poland, to, get this, whipped cream shooters.
Wow. Talk about a spectrum. You've got tradition on one end, pure fun on the other.
Exactly. And speaking of the pierogies, Grammy doesn't just share the recipe. She includes this whole mini history lesson explaining how the dough recipe is a closely guarded family secret, passed down through generations.
That's beautiful. It shows how food can connect us to our heritage, you know.
Uh,
It's like carrying on a legacy through every bite.
so true. And then on the completely opposite end of the spectrum, we have the whipped cream shooters.
Okay, I have to hear more about this. What exactly constitutes a whipped cream shooter in the Dominguez family?
Well, I can't give away all the secrets, but let's just say it involves unsuspecting grandkids, a can of whipped cream, and probably a lot of laughter.
That sounds messy, in the best way possible.
Exactly. It's like a reminder that sometimes the best memories are made when we ditch the rule book, embrace the chaos, and just have fun in the kitchen.
Couldn't agree more.
But we can't forget about a very special section of this cookbook, a realm unto itself, marked by bold flavors, questionable health claims, and a distinct air of Dad knows best.
Ooh, intriguing. Tell me more about this mysterious dad section. What culinary adventures await us there?
Well, no exploration of Dad's section would be complete without mentioning his legendary Bloody Mary.
Ah, a classic. Every family needs a good Bloody Mary recipe.
But this isn't just any Bloody Mary, my friend. We're not even talking about the ingredients yet. Let's start with the vessel. Dad mixes his Bloody Mary in what can only be described as a magic antique yellow Tupperware chest flask.
Wait, hold on. A Tupperware chest flask. Did he invent this thing?
Apparently. And get this, he specifically mentions that it's large enough to be smuggled into an Eagles game.
Wow, this just keeps getting better and better. So it's practical, and it holds a lot of Bloody Mary. What's not to love?
And then there's Dad's claim that his Bloody Mary can cure anything from poison ivy to Lyme disease. It's like a culinary cure-all.
Okay, now we're entering the realm of folk remedies and questionable medical advice. We definitely can't endorse any of that, of course.
Of course not. But it's hilarious, right? It's like this perfect blend of dad humor, family lore, and a healthy dose of, trust me, I know what I'm doing.
It's like a culinary game of telephone, where each generation adds their own spin to the family recipes and remedies. And sometimes those spins get a little creative, let's say.
Exactly. And, for the Dominguez family, it's clear that food isn't just about sustenance, right? It's about connection, laughter, and embracing all those quirks that make them unique. This cookbook is a testament to their bold flavors and even bigger personalities.
I love it. It sounds like a delicious journey into the heart of a family. You know, it's funny how those massive recipes really speak to the heart of family gatherings.
Right. It's like the more food, the more love.
Exactly.
It's clear that for the Dominguez family, food isn't just about sustenance. It's about connection, laughter, and a whole lot of personality.
I love that. It sounds like their cookbook is as much a reflection of who they are as it is a collection of recipes.
Absolutely. And while we've had a lot of fun exploring the more unconventional recipes, let's not forget the Dominguez family cookbook also includes its fair share of classics.
Oh, absolutely. Every family needs those tried and true recipes, the ones that bring a sense of comfort and familiarity.
Exactly. We're talking lasagna, meatloaf, chicken cordon bleu. They're all there representing the comforting staples of their family meals.
They're like the culinary anchors of family life.
Exactly. It's been such a blast diving into the Dominguez family cookbook.
It really has. I feel like we've learned so much more than just recipes.
We really have. It's amazing how much you can learn about a family just by exploring their food.
Right. It's like their culinary fingerprint. It tells a story that goes way beyond the ingredients.
Totally. We've got a glimpse into their history, their traditions, their little quirks and inside jokes.
And let's not forget those power tools. We can't forget about Dad and his unique approach to kitchen equipment.
That's right. It makes you think about your own family recipes, right? The does that tell your story.
Absolutely. Every family has them. Those recipes that have been passed down, maybe tweaked a bit along the way, but still carry the essence of your family's culinary heritage.
Exactly. Whether it's your grandma's famous apple pie or your dad's secret barbecue sauce, those dishes hold so much more than just flavor.
They hold memories, traditions, connections to the people we love, and sometimes even a little bit of mystery.
Oh, absolutely. Like, what's really in that secret barbecue sauce? We may never know, but that's part of the fun, right?
Exactly. It's about embracing those mysteries, those stories that unfold with every bite.
So, to our listeners, we challenge you. Dust off those old recipe boxes, call up your relatives, and rediscover the stories behind your own family recipes.
You might be surprised at what you find.
And who knows, maybe you'll be inspired to start a culinary tradition of your own.
Or at least document those legendary family recipes before they disappear forever.
Exactly, because those recipes, those stories, they're more than just food. They're a part of who we are.
Beautifully said.
And on that note, this has been another deep dive.
Until next time.
See you then.